Hello, this is Uncle Jim. We got dumped on again. It must be global warming. Before Christmas, we've been getting dumped on a lot. That's great for our water in the summertime. As you can tell, it's gorgeous out here. And then people ask me about the sidewalls here. When I'm plowing with the quads, the sidewalls get a little bit high. That's a big quad right there, and we're almost hip high on the side on the, I call this the chicane. All right, this is the area that doesn't get a bunch of sun, and so I call it the chicane. And so I like to use the quads because they're fast. The tractor is slow, but the tractor has a blower on it, and it throws it all over the edge. But what I do in the meantime, to get away with it, I can later take the tractor down and take these sides off and just plow the sides and blow them over the edge. So there's the answer to that. It's just beautiful out. The wife needs to get to the store to get some medicine. And so I did a quick plow this morning, and the Utah sun, it's melting it right down. This is the spot that's not in the sun, all right? Everything else, Devil's Corner, the worst spot, down below, easy. And so that's kind of how I do it. And it's actually, I'm sweating. It's actually really warm out. So yeah, I'm gonna bring the tractor down and nip this out. We're gonna have 3 days of snow later. And if it becomes a problem, I get the tractor out and snow blow it over the edge. And then we got a big wide driveway again, but this one always gets skinny. And when we moved here, I got Thor here, the Polaris 800. He is an animal, and I named him Thor, and he's just an animal. And then we have a 700, and they do a great job. Now this video is about the blades we put on this year, and I'll discuss that once we're up in the garage here, because this is my last pass and the wife can get down. Everything else is wet pavement except for the chicane. All right, so I got her plowed, and the sunshine is melting the driveway except for the chicane. You can see how deep this is. So my wife can get to the store to get some medicine. She's got a really bad hacking cough. And as a matter of fact, I said, I should give you an Indian name. And I left it up to her to pick an Indian name for herself. And she came up with walking germ. So now my squaw is called Walking Germ. Hilarious. My wife cracks me up. She's funny as hell. So anyway, she's getting her medicine. We got this done. And we'll talk about the blades we put on the plow for you guys in the snow here, and some other snow tips. All right, so my son's driving my wife. There's his parking spot. I should plow around that real quick. And then I have a bitch about cars in the snow and how they should be designed. So if you guys live in the snow, here's a tip for you. As a side note, my son's tires wore out quickly, and the mechanic that sold him the tires and put them on gave him rental tires until the manufacturer figures out what happened. So he's running off of rental tires right now, and the tread looks acceptable for what's going on right now in the snow. So that's acceptable. Not as good as my tires, but hey, I got to give my mechanic a thumbs up. He just said, hey, I'll put on some tires and we'll figure it out from the manufacturer and give you a discount and all that stuff. So that's why I stuck with him and went with my tires on my van. Previous video, and these tires are looking good. All right, so here's a little tip, and this is problems with engineers. People in Japan do not understand deep snow. My wife and son own Hondas, which are awesome in the snow. They're all-wheel drive. However, their windshields have this lip, a huge lip right here. So when you're trying to dust off the snow, it all catches on the lips. Drives me freaking crazy. All right, so there's that. Okay, so these are my American-made vehicles. This is my all-wheel drive van, which is awesome in the snow. You'll notice there's no lips around the windshield, so you could dust it off easy and let the sun hit it. Now, here's my advice. This is my Ford F-250. F-250. Easy to take the snow off with a brush. All right? Now, here's my tip. If you live in snow country, you want a dark color. This is a very dark blue, purplish color. Black or dark blue is what you want if you live in snow country. The reason is you dust off your car and boom, it heats up right now. Right now. It'll even heat your engine in the sun before you start it. All right, so there's that. You want dark colors in the snow. See all the snow on this white? Dark colors. I'm telling you. All right. Okay, so I had to take my typical pee break, but I'm still rusty, okay? And I'm trying to figure this one out. What the hell is that? Is that a mullet? Is that a mullet on the J? All right. I don't know if you can see it in the shade, but much work needed. All right. All right, so you plow guys out there, this year we're trying a new material and replace the metal blade on the plows, which can wear out. So this is UHMW, also known as King High Pack, and you can get it from Tap Plastics. So this kind of looks funky because it looks like just a board put there. And the reason is my son made it so you can flip it over if it wears out and just flip it around, bolt it back on. And I will tell you, I'm very impressed. It's super slick and it's not wearing out. So maybe I can show you the corner here, maybe not. So he just put it on as a board. We wore that corner edge off. And if you guys have plows and your blades are running out, or if you use the biscuits, just go with this. Super nice. So yeah, it looks a little primitive. It looks like a board, but it doesn't really stick. The snow, I was worried about the ledge. Sometimes when it's really sticky snow, I'll spray it with wash and wax, which I use for tumbling my brass afterwards. And that keeps the stickage down. Anyway, this stuff is slick. It's super smooth and slick, and it's plowing awesome. So we have a 1/4 mile plus driveway if I go past my gate. So let's call it, usually I'll do 6 to 8 passes. So let's call it each time, every day I plow the whole driveway is 2 miles. And this stuff is holding up great. Once it broke its edge, it's holding up. It's not wearing out. So I highly recommend that. And there's, you know, a few differences in materials, but man, that works. So if you got to replace your blade, go with that. And then we'll talk about biscuits. All right. Biscuits are kind of like 2 things that sit on the end in case you're plowing over gravel. You can extend it and all that. What I found with this, you don't need to do that, and I'll show you that. Okay, so in the backyard, I got this big, huge, chunky gravel, which is a nightmare in a snowblower. You got to keep it off the ground and don't hit that gravel. It's a nightmare. It's a noisy thing. All right. So using these plow blades, the new plow blades, and you can see where I was there and here, it works great. So you can plow, but you can also just drop her down and back drag it and make a nice smooth path to get out. Instead of like trying to plow it all this way, you can just let your plow down on your winch and backwards and go backwards and just back drag it, and it looks like smooth cement. It's easy to get around, and I found that very easy. Now when it gets really deep, I will plow and go this way or use the snow blower off the ground so I don't hit those gravel chunks, because they beat the hell out of your snow blower. And then I'll blow it on top of these rocks so I can have targets. All right. Okay, so in closing here, my son's gonna teach me how to bump fire off the shoulder with his AKV 9mm AK. And I do have video of me trying to do that and trying his new ALG trigger for the first time, which is awesome. Kind of freaks me out. I'm not used to that kind of a trigger on an AK. And so maybe that'll be the next video. I do have some footage where I'm trying to bump fire where he does it easily, but I don't. I just like the trigger the way it is, and you can tag anything with it right now. All right, until next time, thanks for watching. Oh, thirsty whiner cat.